You're listening to the Tuesday Review. I'm Nathan, as always joined by James and Callum. How you going, boys?
Merry
Not
Christmas. Or Merry Post-Christmas.
I mean, that's not what I asked, but okay. How you going, boys?
Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
I can't be...
All right, but we have to introduce the panel first. Merry Christmas.
No, but you never introduce us. You just say, it's James and Callum, how are you? And we go, not bad, and then we move on. Like, it's always the same.
Yeah.
So I was saying Merry Christmas because it's our Christmas episode, and now,
So I'm good, and James is Merry Christmas.
You're listening to the Tuesday Review. Ho, ho, ho,
ho, ho,
ho. The show's already going off the rails. All right. For the community listening at home, there's no eggnog in the studio, I swear.
Last year was the eggnog. This year was the bread pudding.
All right, so it is our Christmas episode. Merry Christmas, everybody. We have a lot to talk about tonight. Mostly Christmas movies. I suppose I shall start. Do we have any housekeeping? First, actually, this is our last episode for.
Well,
the year,
it's Boxing Day, but we want to talk about all the Christmas movies we watched. This will be our last episode for 2023,
and we'll probably take a break next week.
Yeah,
and be back the week after.
Next week is next Tuesday is the 2nd, I think.
I believe
Correct.
So
yeah, we'll probably take off a week in the new year, and then we'll be back after that. Just keep an eye on the social media at Tuesday Review AU, and you'll see we'll post there.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks everyone. For the supporting us and listening over the last year, and
again, as we said last week, it's been a big year for the show this year.
Been a big year, yeah.
Thank you to the Melbourne International Film Festival and
PAX, and we're hoping next year to do more stuff like that. We've got some cool stuff lined up for next year.
We've got a new false sense of confidence in the studio here.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to email people and be like, let's work together. Who are you?
Nobody.
But let's do it anyway.
Yeah.
We were on the Newsmast email once. Thank you.
Yeah. We're big on Newsmast.
Yeah.
we got that going for us. And we were invited to Blue Sky. Thank you very much.
That's it.
Not everyone can say that.
No. But look, that's the kind of we started the year with trying to do more with the show.
Yeah.
And what's the worst thing that people can do? They can say no. Alam's just walked by the window, so he's in the building.
Oh,
Hopefully
is he coming
he'll
in?
come and join us.
Oh, I need to give him a chair.
Oh, that's all right. He can get a chair.
Well, we succeeded in doing new things this year.
I think we
Which,
achieved
if you're a
our
long-time
goals,
listener for the show, you know that doesn't usually happen.
No, exactly. It's taken us a long time to get to this point.
We actually mostly achieved the goals we set out to for the show this year, which is just doing more.
Yeah.
And that's all we can do, build up every year.
Yeah.
All right, let's start it off. I'm going to start off with...
Someone gave me this Christmas movie and TV trivia card game ages ago, and I never played it. So I thought we'll just quickly play one round.
Alan, if you're listening in the green room, get in here.
Where is he? I think he's having a drink.
All right. Damn it, Alan.
I'll just read a question. They're just like trivia questions.
Oh, he's coming. Hold on.
Read them out.
Wait, he can't see he's not allowed to see the answer. Where is he? Because he'll come up behind me.
Yeah, just give me a second. Sorry, listeners at home.
That's all right.
Let's just do one and then go to... Okay, let's do... Which famous story written by Dr. Seuss was adapted into a popular Christmas movie? A, It's a Wonderful Life. B, The Snowman. C, How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
That's a hard one.
Yeah, so hard. These are all going to be easy, aren't they?
I'm assuming so.
Which
how you going, Alan?
What's good? What's that?
Excellent.
Merry Christmas, Alan.
Merry Christmas.
Which actor plays Santa in Fred Claus? A, Paul Giamatti. B, Vince Vaughn. C, Tim Allen.
Vince Vaughn.
Tim Allen.
Fred Claus.
Fred.
Right,
who
Fred
plays Santa in Fred Claus?
Oh, who plays Santa?
Tim Allen.
Tim Allen, yeah. Is it? No.
Paul Giamatti.
Yeah, never mind. Tim Allen's Santa Claus.
Tim Allen's in The Santa Claus, and Vince Vaughn plays
Close
Fred
enough.
Claus.
Yeah.
Also, they misspelt Vince Vaughn. It says Vice Vaughn, which that's
That's a
pretty
different
funny.
movie.
Yeah, that's a different. All right, one more. What was the name of the 1964 film where a group of inept green Martians kidnap Santa? A, Santa and the Martians. B, Santa Claus Conquers the Martian. C, Martians Need Santa 2.
Martians Need Santa 2.
I like that one, yeah.
No, it's B, Santa Claus. Okay, these are all misspelled. The movie's actually Santa Claus Conquers the Martians.
Did you get that off Temu?
I don't know, someone gave it to me, so it was probably in like a $2 store, like a dollar store bin. They also misspelt Martians. They put it as Marshes.
I actually think it's a better game that they
But it's
missed.
part of the
Yeah,
good.
it's kind of funnier. It makes it more
Yeah.
interesting. All right, that's enough of that. Let's talk about some Christmas movies we've been watching. Alan, go get a chair and wheel it in.
All right, I didn't want to make noise.
No,
That's
it's
all
fine.
right.
It's
People expect our production
is-
value.
That's all right.
As the man with the least to say, I guess I'll start. Get it out of the way.
Yep.
I've rewatched Klaus,
Klaus, yeah.
which I wasn't sure if I'd seen it, but then halfway
So-
through, I'm like, yeah, I've totally seen this.
Yeah,
before.
because that's typical Callum, where he's just
Oh, yeah,
a
I
sieve brain.
Yeah, civvy butt brain.
I'd never seen this movie before. I watched it this afternoon.
Yeah, do you remember last week when I mentioned it? I
Yeah,
said the
that's kind of what-
holdovers is like
Yeah.
instant
That's kind of what
classic.
spurred me to watch it.
And the last
yeah.
one I can think of was Klaus.
A fantastic animated film. Reminds me of like this is a strange example, but it reminds me of like what was that Treasure Island? What was that movie?
Treasure Island.
Like that animation style reminded me.
Oh
of,
yeah.
the
Like
space one.
I know what you're talking about.
well, Treasure Island. There was the space
Yeah.
version.
And like that era of animation.
Yeah,
Obviously
late
it's-
'90s, early 2000s. Yeah,
Obviously, it's more modern because it has the 3D elements at times, and it has that nice modern sheen.
yeah. No, but it's a
But
really nice
great,
animation.
What a great Christmassy, warmy movie.
Yeah,
Really emotional movie. Tugs at my heartstrings a couple times.
we were talking about
Um,
before we turned on the mics. And I said it's like the definition of instant classic.
It
Like
was
as soon as I saw
yeah.
it, I'm like, this is a Christmas classic straight up.
perfect for kids too.
Yeah,
like I
and
watched.
adults.
It's good
and-
for
no,
everyone.
No, what I mean was like I'm watching as an adult and I'm appreciating, the art of it. But the messages are very appropriate for kids as well. The way it talks about division and one good deed leads to another and that type of thing.
Yeah, and it's funny and it's sad and it's all the good Christmassy stuff.
Yeah, and as someone who does, as a grown man who knows about Christmas and that type of thing and tradition, it's like you can see, I see how they're doing this. They're gonna
It's like
play
the
into this
origin
and-
story. Yeah.
A bit of different interpretation too, which is nice. It's kind of like
Yeah.
a spin on
Well,
Santa Claus.
Yeah,
and-
it's not just
It's
like a
different,
Coke
yeah.
marketing tactic.
Yeah, it's like the Scandinavian origin story, like where a lot of those traditions come from.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful film.
Yeah,
Really good.
yeah, just a beautiful
you have-
film. That's right.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, like that's one you can easily add to your Christmas watch list any year, like every year. It's just instant Christmas classic.
It's
Just
like
awesome.
what I said when I watched it was like, in another world, this movie would have been a box office smash, and it
Oh,
would have
man.
entranced kids and adults alike with the magic of Christmas.
Yeah, if this was
Imagine-
released by
if
Disney,
this came
in
out
like
20 years ago.
Yeah,
dude, it would have made bank.
Like-
Absolute bank.
I said the real Christmas magic with this film is it existing at all in the era of streaming.
Yeah, it came out
In the
29
form it does.
It
Yeah.
came out in 2019. To think that
straight to Netflix. Yeah.
Yeah.
to think that they made an actual nice animated movie is nuts. Because that's not like your typical market anymore. For
Yeah.
if you know what I mean.
But I guess
like that
th-
style of animation.
They wouldn't make this movie for the cinema anymore.
yeah.
The best you'd get is streaming, and thank God they.
And if
did,
it came out
because-
now, it'd be all 3D, completely 3D.
Oh, if they put it, if they tried
Yeah.
to make it a big release, yeah. But no, it's such a great movie, and it's like I was saying last week. There's so many Christmas movies, like there's so many horror movies,
Yeah.
but you only once in a while do you get a real classic one
Yeah,
that you can
yeah.
be like, oh, that's one of the best
That's on
ones.
yearly rotation.
That's in the rotation now. Yeah, 100%.
So the other one I watched after work today was A Christmas Story.
Yes,
and
I
which-
talked about this last year.
I watched this on Max, and it was like remastered in 4K with Dolby Vision. So that it looked amazing. And this one I didn't like as much as I enjoyed Klaus. 'Cause I found it to be extremely saccharine, and it was also uncomfortably American.
Yeah, I remember we talked about it
Yeah.
last year, and you guys hadn't seen it, and I was talking about how I think I really liked it because it's that slice of Americana, like
Yeah.
late 1940s, like
Yeah.
winter, Christmas time America,
Yeah.
and that's part of the charm.
Yeah.
But also I was saying like it's a very popular movie in the US, but I don't know a lot of people
Yeah.
here who have seen it.
It looks gorgeous. It was
Yeah.
shot so well.
Yeah.
The acting's really nice. some of the children don't act very well, but that adds to the charm because they're just kids. You know what I mean? So sometimes I'll smile at the camera and I'm like, that's funny. Look, the whole gun thing, I was like, that's kind of weird. You got like this, 7 or 8 year old, and he's like, I want a gun so bad.
He wants a BB. Yeah, all he wants for Christmas is a BB gun, and basically the whole movie is him trying to
get the BB gun. And then he fantasizes about the burglars, and then
and he's like dressed as a cowboy.
And he's like,
I live in a stand my ground state.
Yeah.
yeah. And
I feel like this movie might be written a little differently today. Would it be the same?
Yeah, well, kids, a BB gun. I mean, there's airsoft gun, but that's like a completely different. Yeah, but like the
kid who wants a vape.
Yeah,
so
1940s, 1950s. Every kid wants a BB gun. Like that's it's part of
I know, but it's just so American.
Now they want some cred.
Did you watch that? Yeah. Don't you laugh, Mr. Prime Energy Drink.
Hey.
We spent a whole episode complaining.
Drink. It was the other thing.
We spent a whole
regular
hydration
electrolyte water.
drink.
Oh yeah, we spent a whole episode like bagging Prime, and then Callum and Nathan come in the studio drinking it, and I'm like, you guys are the worst.
I like one flavour, alright?
Okay, fair enough.
It's like the cherry flavour.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yuck.
No, that's great.
Okay.
Anyway, I enjoyed the Santa scene. That was cool.
Yeah.
Some interesting camera work.
Mm.
Overall, I didn't mind it. It was a good Christmassy film. Because it revolves around a kid wanting presents, which we can all relate to. The idea of, that one present that you have to have. Like I said, uncomfortably American. The relationship between the parents was better than I assumed it was going to be.
Yeah.
Like, my instinct is it's going to be, the dad walks in, he's like, give me my dinner. But it wasn't that bad. It was kind of... There were a couple of moments where he was almost like, why I order.
Yeah, what I like about it is, I talked about this last time, was it's got that sentimental, whimsical Christmas spirit kind of feeling, which is nice. But it's also got this kind of grounded... not realistic, but this kind of more grounded quality where it's like the kids get bullied and they're always fighting.
That's what I was going to
say.
And
the dad is penny pinching and a bit of a grump. And
I thought it was interesting to see that, like, how old are they? They're like 7 or something, because their father makes a reference that he was 8 when he got a BB gun, a similar age.
Yeah, they're around, like, these little brothers, like 6 or 7. Yeah. He's probably like 8, 9,
and they're like
10.
getting, these kids, like actual kids, are getting terrorized by this teenager.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I guess it's American tradition to, like, harass and torture other people. But
it's also like any kids movie might have a bully character or whatever. It's all like, Stephen King movies.
I know, but it's Americana, I guess.
No, I mean, Australian kids get bullied too, but I think I like that about it, where it was just like, it's kind of unflinching, a lot of it. Like, it's not brutal or violent or anything. No. It's just like they didn't scrub any part of it out to be like, this is just a fun Christmas movie.
This is
like
life in the streets.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I want to see a movie.
It's also an early 80s movie, so they weren't really concerned with...
I want to see a whole movie about these bullies who should be in school, but instead they spend their time harassing 7-year-olds.
You should watch the sequel. I mean, it's not great or anything, but...
Oh, is it? What about...
So
I put in our secret
yeah.
chat that my theory was the sequel was about the boy who grows up to be a policeman.
Yeah.
And he wants that excitement of, like, the first kill.
You made that same joke last year when you hadn't seen the movie, and I said what it was about.
Was it the kid who got bullied, now he wants to bully the bullies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a different
movie. What's that movie you guys watched, the Korean one?
I Saw the Devil.
Yeah.
Is it like I Saw the Devil?
It's full revenge Christmas
old
movie.
Old boy, bit of Christmas.
An Old Boy cool. Christmas would be an interesting one, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Anyway, yeah, I'm about time for that. Maybe I will watch the sequel tomorrow.
It's not great or anything. I was just saying, if you want to see a where are they now sort of thing.
Is it still about guns?
No.
Okay, cool. Maybe I'll watch.
Yeah. Yeah,
right.
I wouldn't say, yeah. I understand what you're saying, but I don't think the original's about guns.
I mean, it kind of is, man. Before we move on, when you guys talked about the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special last year, I hadn't seen it.
Yeah.
I have seen it, and wonderful, just perfect.
Yeah, it's great.
Loved it so much. Kevin Bacon's such a hero.
Yeah.
Honest to God, the James Gunn Guardians movies are like just amazing.
James Gunn. I'm sure I will have my problems with the DC movies, but I'm very confident in his abilities.
Yeah, look, like I was talking about it to someone at work. The 4 Guardians movies, for lack of a better word, like because I know the Christmas
Including
special is not a movie as such. They're such a wonderful, tight, beautiful series on their
it's
own.
the best Marvel trilogy.
Like I could watch them completely divorced from the MCU. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess we talked about it. I guess you do need a little bit of Infinity War and Endgame
Yeah.
context.
But yeah, the Christmas special was so great. That's another Christmas classic as well. If I hadn't watched it so recently, I would have rewatched it. Anyway, I'm done.
All right, I'll move on. Alan, have you got any Christmas movies to talk about?
Okay, so I'll start this off with, as we discussed, that the Flash movie was allegedly on Amazon Prime.
Was it?
And I thought, hey, I'll give that a watch today to talk about something on the show. They wanted $2.99, and I think that's $2.99 too many. So I decided to skip that. And I ended up watching a different Christmas movie, Mystic River.
Oh, did you like it?
It was pretty good.
I told you, Five Nights at Freddy's parallels there.
Yeah, I'll justify how it's
Wait,
a Christmas.
Wait, did you watch the whole Mystic River? Did
Yes.
you watch the whole movie? Oh,
Yes.
Go on YouTube and listen to our YouTube exclusive Five Nights at Freddy's review.
Yes.
It's got dislikes.
It's got a dislike. If you disagree with it, let us know. Yeah, that's a game.
Let us know why. Don't
Yeah.
just dislike it.
Let us know,
comment.
you coward.
Yeah.
I'm so excited you watch this because
It's probably some 9-year-old.
Probably.
Didn't even listen.
No, it'd be like some dude in his 40s who's like, "That's the
Or
best
that.
game ever
They,
made."
they
Yeah.
exposed the movie's
This is
flaws.
the best
They broke
movie
it.
ever.
They
Yeah.
broke it down.
Anyway, Alan, thoughts, please.
So I'll explain why it's a Christmas movie.
Okay.
The Christmas message.
I remember it being rainy but not snowy.
So it's set in Boston, Massachusetts, where everyone's lost their car keys. I can't tell us their pants or their actual, vehicle in entry device. Basically, 3 young boys. We've got Dave, we've got Jimmy, and we got Sean. And funny enough, when they grow up, Sean isn't actually played by Sean.
Sean Penn.
Yeah. So as they're young boys, they're drawing in some cement, fooling around, and some alleged cops come up to them, threaten them a little bit, and 2 of the boys live right on that street. One of them doesn't, Dave, and they tell Dave they're going to go tell his mother what he did. So he gets Dave, bullies him into the car, and then you basically see the car drive away with Dave staring back at the other 2 boys.
Classic shot.
As Dave gets in the car, there's another man waiting in the car for him, and he appears to be some kind of a priest because he puts his hand on the back of the seat back, and you see a ring with a cross on it.
Yeah.
And for me, that's theme enough, and therefore it's a Christmas movie.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's a horrible Christmas when you think
Yeah.
about it, but it is a Christmas movie because there was some Christian themes in there.
Anything's a Christmas movie if you're brave enough.
Exactly.
Skill issue.
I don't think that... Does that apply?
We can word our way into it being a Christmas movie.
Yes. And obviously it deals with, excuse me, unfortunately Dave being abused by these gentlemen for a few days, getting away, and kind of being scarred for life due to the nature of what he went through. And
That's like the prologue, and then it skips to them when they're like in their 40s or something.
Yeah, so they've all kind of moved on with their lives and kind of had their own families, that sort of thing. And Jimmy's character, played by Sean Penn, he's got a daughter who's of the age of 19. She's hanging out, going out, and doing her own thing, and she ends up getting abducted and murdered, kind of.
Yeah.
And that basically pushes forward the entire story for the film, and
Kind of lights a fuse.
Yeah, Jimmy's like looking for who did it and why.
And obviously we won't get into a lot of spoiler territory, I guess, because I think it's worth a watch if you haven't seen it already.
It's worth
definitely
watching
worth
without
watch.
being spoiled.
Yeah.
I think it's a very powerful movie.
You liked it?
Yes, I very much did.
Good.
So the idea is that obviously because Dave has had his background with abuse and actually saw Jimmy's daughter in the bar that night, he seems to be a lot of people's prime suspect.
Yeah.
And he seems to be acting very cagey about the whole incident as well. His story doesn't really line up. And that's kind of what you're dealing with, because obviously these people do know each other. What's necessarily the truth, what's not.
Yeah.
I called it relatively quickly who did it.
Of course you did.
Because I'm a G. I'm really about this stuff.
He's a professional shot caller when it
Yeah.
comes to
Yeah.
movies for our
Yeah,
listeners.
that's true.
But yeah, just dealing with, I guess, understanding how people, absolutely change, and yes, there are certain things that you just can't take back, and
Yeah.
kind of,
But then Jimmy also feels guilty because he kind of let it happen to Dave in the first place,
Yeah.
and then it's like this whole
The whole
thing.
movie's rooted in just various traumas.
Guilt
Yeah,
and
there's-
trauma.
Yeah.
Guilt and trauma, yeah. It's
Yeah.
like, you know,
I,
was this... I think even Jimmy mentions it. Sorry to cut you off there, James.
No, it's all right.
It's like, do you ever think that there was that one moment that changed the trajectory of your life forever? Where he's talking about getting in the car with his first wife, I forget her name, Marietta or something.
Can't remember.
She's supposed to be his daughter's mother who has passed away. And, you know, that's what the other thing I liked about the story is it's very clear that that's his daughter from a previous marriage, and the wife he's currently married to obviously is his second wife, that sort of thing. And it's not like they tell you immediately. It's you figure that out just due to the general behavior of the wife towards his older daughter and that sort of thing. And I'm like, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that very much. You even understand that his previous wife passed away just with, again, subtle dialogue rather than it being like, oh yeah, my wife died, this is my daughter from
Yeah.
my first
It
wife.
shows.
This
it
is a
doesn't
real
tell.
movie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's
This is
show
a real film, not the
Exactly.
kind of stuff we normally watch.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
nice show not tell,
Yeah.
lovely stuff.
Yeah, Clint
Um,
Eastwood, he can pull
yeah.
it out when he needs it,
You know,
or used to.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big Clint Eastwood fan. I've seen the movie a few times, but there's just something about it where there are parts of it where I'm like, this is 10 out of 10, and there are other parts of it where I'm like, this is melodramatic garbage. So for me, it's never quite hit.
Yeah,
It's not perfect, definitely, especially towards the end,
Yeah, the
Where-
end it kind of just fizzles out and gets
where I'm
weird.
like, is the implication that he's going to go after whatever person?
Yeah,
Or is the implication that they just kind of sweep it under the rug? Because I'm like, yeah, that's, you know, abandoning duty here. Like,
But you know, there are quite a few people in that movie who end up having coal in their stockings.
yeah.
mm-hmm.
You know, they could learn a lot of lessons from Klaus.
Yeah,
They were having some kind of parade at the end. It was getting colder, I think.
yeah, but I don't think it was a Christmas parade,
No.
was it?
No, it was a Christmas parade.
I remember it was cold, yeah, but I don't remember it.
Yeah, close enough.
Yeah.
You got a priest at the start, you know.
Hey, it's Boston. It was probably St. Patrick's Day.
Everyone's getting
It's Irish Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Irish Christmas.
Lawrence Fishburne trying to have the, you know, Boston kind of accent.
He plays the cop, yeah?
Yeah, he's one
No,
of the
he
cops.
plays the corp.
Corp.
It doesn't really
corpse.
work unless, unfortunately, for Mr. Fishburne. I feel like he would have just been better off like being some kind of New York cop that transferred in, you know, somebody who's done some black activities. In
I
his
mean,
time.
that's the whole thing as well. Like just because it's set in Boston doesn't mean every single actor has to have the Boston accent. People move around. He
Yeah,
just
but
had his,
Especially in America where,
Yeah.
like, people move around.
But I guess the implication is, especially one of the other cops is somebody who grew up there.
yeah.
So there's like the idea that a lot of the people stemming from that situation are, I guess, Bostonites or whatever you want to call them.
Bostonians.
And they all know each other,
Yeah.
and that's
big
part
dopes, I think. Look, it's a city with a lot of universities, but man,
of it. And a
Maybe they-
bunch of drunks.
maybe they come up with a lot of drunks and dopes. But yeah, that was my
Shout out to all our Bostonians.
yeah. So I think a better afternoon spent today than watching The Flash.
Oh,
Oh, 100%.
yes.
No, it's a movie that I think everyone should watch once
think-
at least, because it's like it is a good film.
Yeah, it's worth watching.
It's worth
Yeah.
watching at least once.
Maybe not on Christmas.
It's not exactly a feel good
Yeah,
film.
It's a
it's not
Boxing Day
feel
film
good.
for me.
yeah. Yeah, it is Boxing Day now, so I guess. Yeah. Do you? Because Alan, like, you don't really have you haven't grown up with Christmas,
No.
so you don't have the same relationship to Christmas movies as maybe we do.
No. Definitely.
Are there any Christmas movies you have watched or do like, or does there something you've seen and you're like, oh, that's actually
You saw This Is Christmas with Seth. Was it Seth Rogen?
oh the night before?
before.
No, before.
Yeah.
Yeah, we watched
Yeah.
that.
I haven't seen
We
that.
went to the cinemas when it came out, and Alan was rude to an old lady by accident. He didn't know,
What do you?
and
what do you
we
mean?
died.
Basically,
What do
we
you
were
mean?
trying to get
This is
out of the
years ago.
cinema.
We're better people now,
We were trying to get out of the cinema, and you know it was quite slow going.
and it's dark, right?
And
That-
Oh,
And I was like, "Come on, while we're young."
and it was like a real old lady.
But so this woman turns to us after
Like
the
I'm talking
film.
90s old
And
lady.
The Night Before's a dirty film. It's,
Yeah.
it's like a
raunchy comedy.
yeah.
It's like a Judd Apatow kind of.
Yeah.
There's like a sex scene and everything else, you know.
And James Franco's penis and such. But anyway, this woman turns around to us, and she must be in her 40s or 50s or something.
She's there with her mum.
Yeah, and she goes, "It's not really a mum movie, is it?" And because she was with her like mum in her 80s or whatever.
Oh my
I would
god.
love it. I was like, "Are you kidding? I'm having a great time."
Yeah.
Old people could surprise you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true.
Yeah.
No, I've definitely seen. I guess because you know, in the early days as well, like all we had was your standard free-to-air TV.
Yeah.
So I definitely would have seen, you know, like a Home Alone, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
With Macaulay Culkin's terrible acting.
Oh,
Made my
what?
family disappear, and like you know, raises his eyebrow at the cameras, and you know.
Yeah, but I think
eyebrows.
to an extent, Christmas movies are a universal thing because they have a positive message
Oh,
that
100%.
anyone can relate
Yeah,
to.
yeah. No.
So everyone gets
it's
something
just,
out of it.
yeah, it's just an interesting
Yeah.
perspective because
He watched Calvi. That's a Christmas film.
technically, yeah.
About
I
loving
think
your
I've
wife?
seen Elf.
Elf, yeah.
I haven't seen Elf.
Oh, Elf's great.
I'll take your word for it.
It's one of the Christmas classics.
And I think I've seen the one with Tim Allen as
Oh, the Santa Claus. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah,
They falls
Yeah.
apart after the first movie, but
Oh, the first one's the best. Yeah.
Yeah.
Second one's okay, and then after that, I think.
because like the first one can be appreciated by anyone, and they kind of get more and more kind of I guess kid oriented. The
Yeah,
further you
yeah.
go down
The third
series.
one's like really weird.
yeah.
And I haven't watched a TV show because Tim Allen's like a weird MAGA guy, and I'm
There's-
like not interested.
There's
Old man.
I'm not sure if it's someone re-edited it into a horror film or if it's someone was talking about how it's be really easy to
Oh
re-edit
yeah,
into
no,
a
I think
horror
someone
movie.
made a trailer
Yeah,
of the
within the
first
trailer,
movie.
yeah.
It was like
As
the
like a
horror.
body
yeah.
horror?
It is, yeah, because he's
Yeah.
like changing into a fat Santa Claus man.
Yeah.
He's like and he's
Yeah.
like always eating and
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. We'll be right back after this with my kind of weird films. You are back on the Tuesday review talking all things Christmas this week. It is Boxing Day here in the studio as of the time of recording. I have a couple of weird movies to talk about first. We've talked about some classics. Now let's talk about some strange.
But still technically Christmas movie.
Oh, they're all Christmas movies, yeah.
Yeah.
So I watched The Family Man with Nicolas Cage.
Mm-hmm.
He gives a good performance in this. Also, like a classic Cage performance in the beginning when he's singing to opera. Look that up on YouTube, like just the Family Man opera scene. It's a classic. And he's just like singing to the music. It's amazing.
Does he have a southern accent? Because nothing beats Nic Cage in
Con Air.
Con Air.
Yeah.
That is peak Nic Cage.
This is they put the bunny down. Can't remember what he said.
No, I think, is this also a
Oh,
Philadelphian
put
movie?
the bunny back in the box. Something like that.
Yeah.
I love that movie. I don't care what anyone says. Con Air's awesome.
It is a good film. Anyway, The Family Man, look, it's a strange movie. It's almost a cringe comedy.
It's been a long time since I've seen that movie.
It's basically...
It's a rich guy.
It's Alan, all right? Basically, it's about a rich man who has everything in the world, whatever. And, it starts at a scene in an airport with him and his girlfriend. Basically, he's leaving to go to London to study or work as like an apprentice kind of banker, whatever it is. And they kind of break up. And then it's like flash forward to like 10, 15 years, whatever it is. And he's like wildly successful.
Yeah.
And there's kind of like he intervenes in a robbery at a store. Robber's played by Don Cheadle.
He's super wealthy.
Yeah.
That's racist.
He's super wealthy and he's got materially he's got everything, but he doesn't have
Yeah, it's
love.
a standard
basically.
Christmas kind
Yeah.
of thing, the whole kind of Ghost of Christmas
Yeah.
past kind of issue.
Money can buy everything, including love.
Yeah.
It's true. But anyway, so he intervenes in a robbery, but turns out, I guess, to be a setup by Don Cheadle, who's like a ghost of Christmas something, or some sort of angel-like presence.
Angel, yeah.
And so basically...
So that is super racist. It's like you're an angel, but because you're black, you get to go in like this by being a robber.
Don't be rude.
All right, so that's just how the movie is. I'm not commenting on that. All right,
Yeah.
it's just it is
This
what
is
it
a
is.
social commentary
It's
hour.
no, I'm not social commentating.
That's
in
next
this
hour.
film. Yeah. But essentially, what happens is, Nicolas Cage is kind of boasting to the Don Cheadle angel ghost character. It's never really clear what he is. He's not a ghost, like in the
it's-
traditional sense of the Christmas kinds of Scrooge films. And he basically kind of he taunts to we'll call him the Christmas ghost. He's like, I have everything, blah 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 blah, and the ghost is like, oh, do you really? We'll see about that. And he transports him into a world where he has none of the money, but he has the family and the love. And this is where it gets weird because he wakes up not understanding the situation, and it's very cringe. It's hard cringe.
Yeah, because
Like-
he's in his mind, he's still
Yeah,
the same rich
no.
guy,
And basically, it's basically...
but now he has to clean up after the kids. And
I was talking about this off air to the boys, and I said it's basically about a man who wakes up and loses all social cues and how to talk to everyone else. He just wakes up and he's like basically mentally ill, and it's just like a cringe comedy about a man who wakes up that way.
Yeah.
And when he wasn't that way the night before, you know what I mean? So people
that-
kind of
yeah,
navigating
from
the
that
chaos.
perspective, his wife and kids will be like, "Why is this
Yeah,
guy
and a lot of
acting
the movie,
weird?"
they're just like, "Why are you behaving this way? Stop it! You're destroying our family." And
Yeah.
he's like, "I'm not your husband."
Yeah, yeah.
And it's very.
I'm not
weird.
even supposed to be here.
Yeah, no, and the movie is very cringe. It's in a good way. It's
Yeah.
an amazing cringe comedy, but it's a weird Christmas film.
It's like It's a Wonderful Life, where he wishes he wasn't born, and then he's shown that reality. And so in
Yeah.
this one is like, here's what you could have had if you didn't go for all the money and you instead went for a family and love and things that quote unquote matter.
Yeah, but so essentially, like, eventually, as he kind of realizes, I guess, the lessons that the ghost is imparting on him, there's that kind of, it's an ennui and a sense of hopelessness that kind of just permeates through the movie, because he knows Don Cheadle, ghost character, tells him, like, this is just a glimpse. I'm going to give you some time to learn the lesson that you need to learn, and then you'll go back to your life. And Nicolas Cage is a happy man once he reaches a kind of close to the end of the film. He's like,
Yeah.
no, I like this life. And then the ghost is like, see you later, buddy. That's it. And he's back to being the rich man, but he doesn't want that life anymore. He wants like the family life.
Yeah.
And then, but it's too late. Like, it was just a glimpse.
like a
you know, the movie
punishment,
kind of
yeah.
pulls the rug away from under him.
Yeah.
And then it ends, and he tries to reconcile with the ex-girlfriend, and they end up having coffee at the end. But like, the kids don't exist anymore. Like,
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage's character must have some kind of issues. The man needs therapy at this point.
Yeah,
you know?
trauma.
Like, he's grieving for
Yeah.
like an
It's like
existence
that.
that he
It's like that
doesn't-
episode of Star Trek where Captain Picard like lives a whole life on this planet, and he has kids and grandkids,
exactly.
and he grows old and dies, and then he like snaps out of him, and he's back to his normal body, and he's like, "What do I do now?"
Yeah, well,
it's like where my kids don't
Yeah.
exist.
Exactly. It's the same thing, right? And so at the end, Nicolas Cage's character is trying to convince his, I guess, ex-girlfriend that this happened and we have this life and these kids and this, this business. And she's looking at him like he's weirdo.
Yeah.
And then she's like, I kind of believe you. And I'm like, I have to do that. at
Yeah,
the
yeah.
end. But the movie doesn't end well. Like it kind of pulls everything away from him. He gets the message, but it's incredibly
I guess it's-
unsatisfying.
Yeah, I guess it's bittersweet. Like he learns,
Yeah.
he learns that love is more important than material wealth. But in order to learn that, he had to go through, and then lose it.
yeah.
That, like, again, if you're gonna have like ghost and all that jazz, so there's some kind of magical ability there.
Yeah,
Wouldn't it be more logical
You
to
let
say
him change.
just
exactly be like, all right, you
He
can
should-
stay here,
yeah.
but it'll
Yeah.
cost you all the wealth that you build up and everything else. And he makes that decision.
Yeah,
of,
because like
yes,
right
it's
at
worth
the
it.
end, like right at the end, like he's like running away from like the Don Cheadle ghost character, and he's like, I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back.
Yeah.
Like just leave him alone.
Yeah.
You know what I
Maybe
mean?
Don Cheadle wasn't an angel. Maybe he was a devil.
He could
a
be.
demon.
Don Cheadle is the devil.
Yeah.
It's true.
So he's like dangling this thing. He's like,
Yeah,
you
it's like-
can't have it.
Well-
Ha ha ha.
That's a good theory because it's like you're dangling happiness or what people want or they don't know that they want
Yeah.
in front of them, and then you pull it away. It's not really a
That's-
Christmassy kind of message. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
See, at this point, I'd rather have the movie where he's just like, he just hates it all.
Yeah.
He's like, what is this, 100 thread count? The sheets. He looks at the fridge, is like, look at all these crappy pictures of these kids.
Yeah.
The house is a mess. The bills are past due. He's like, I hate this. I want to go back to being rich and alone.
Yeah. But it's a good cringe comedy.
Yeah.
But it's a weird Christmas movie, and the message doesn't quite land. But it's good. Like, I would still recommend it.
Yeah, I remember being good. There was like a really good chunk of early 2000s Nic Cage movies like Matchstick Man and The Weatherman and Family Man that I haven't seen in ages and I need to rewatch.
Does he just choose some kind of theme and then put
Man.
Yeah. Does it have man? Does it start with that and have man
Nick,
at the
yeah.
end? That's my jam right now.
That
yeah.
Nic Cage Man.
Yeah.
Uh,
The other
The Christmas Man.
Christmas man. The other weird Christmas movie I have is Eyes Wide Shut by Stanley Kubrick.
Yes.
is that a porno film? Oh, wait, no.
Yes, but
It's
no.
an erotic thriller.
Sorry, I saw the porno version of that. Sorry.
Of course you
I
did.
forget.
So I mean,
I was going to
I'm
say
just
what's
gonna
it called, but I don't want to know.
all right, let's not have to rate this for
Do
the
the
podcast.
don't be rude.
Don't be rude.
All right, so I'm just going to read out my letterbox review for this one. As Ted Mosby says, when it's after 2 a.m., just go to sleep because the decisions you make after 2 a.m. are always the wrong decisions.
Wisdom.
Generally, that stands true for most people.
Yeah.
Look, there might possibly be a weird Christmas message in here about appreciating things that really matter in your life, but we'll never know. I'm sure Father Christmas gets a little nervous about delivering coal to these people. It's a weird movie about, I guess, realizing what's important in your life to an extent, and
Same as The Family Man.
Same as The Family Man. I think like the movie is basically Tom Cruise, his character gets told by his wife, who played by
Nicole
Kidman, that she had a fantasy once about cheating.
Yeah.
And obviously she didn't go through with it, but she had a fantasy, and he gets obsessed with kind of getting back at her in a weird way by cheating. And it all goes terribly wrong.
Yeah, it goes down a rabbit hole.
Yeah, and it all goes terribly wrong, and it doesn't work out. So I'm sure there's kind of a Christmas message buried in here somewhere. If you look,
I don't think Kubrick was worried
No.
about putting a Christmas message in there.
One of the reasons, so this film is generally, like a lot of the Kubrick snobs consider this to be one of the weaker films.
It was his last film before he died.
Yeah, but this film has incredible lighting.
Oh, it looks
And,
great.
Yeah, it looks so nice. And I was reading about this today on the net because, it's Christmas time. People break open eyes wide shut and give it a watch.
The ultimate Christmas movie.
That's it. And I found out that the reason the lights in this film look so strange is because he purposely shot it to be like underlit, and then he would like overdo the film in the dark room or whatever.
Yeah.
So the lights
Overdevelop or something.
Yeah, so the lights have this really dreamy quality because the film is kind of surreally. It's kind of surrealish, has those kinds of
the
vibes.
film's almost has like a nightmare quality to it.
Yeah.
And it has some of the coolest visuals you'll see, like the production value of the masks and all that stuff.
And it was
nightmarish, amazing.
It's set in New York, but it was all shot in London, and so it's all like, I mean, movies are fake, but really looks really good.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
I have kind of. Yeah, this is a movie where it has that sense where like I don't quite understand everything that's going on, and I'm like, is it intentionally vague?
I think it is vague because I remember I haven't seen it in a while, but I remember it ending and being like, it's intentionally like the mystery is never really solved.
Yeah, and like that's fine.
Look, it's ultimately a movie about FOMO.
Yeah, essentially. Tom Cruise is like, successful doctor and is all this kind of stuff, and he wants to get some pussy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
so,
it doesn't work out for the man, and he spends the entire movie basically on this quest, right?
yeah, he finds out a friend of his from medical school is a professional pianist / musician, and he gets invited to what's essentially the Illuminati, the like weekly Illuminati party.
Illuminati party.
That's what it is.
Yeah. It's like a rich people orgy.
Yeah. The high echelons of New York society. They all meet up to, literally have an orgy. And so anyway, he finds out the password, which is Fidelio. And he ends up going to the party, but of course he doesn't.
This is supposed to be a Christmas episode.
Alan thought he could derail the episode.
Yeah.
No, just wait. I can do it better, sir.
He doesn't quite fit in, and it turns into like a paranoid mystery movie from there.
Alan's dying over here.
And there's like a murder, like his friend gets murdered or something.
You don't see her again.
I was thinking, I was actually, when you mentioned that, I was actually thinking Requiem for a Dream.
Oh. That's not a Christmas
Talk about
movie.
a feel-good movie.
Yeah.
So I was all kinds of confused.
This is a very different movie. And there's, people attribute a lot of messages to this movie. Like, Kubrick was killed and all this kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah. Well, every Kubrick movie people pick apart obsessively
Yeah.
because he was such a perfectionist and such a craftsman that...
Like, you know, I'm sure there's some interesting theories, but I don't think it goes that deep. The man just wanted to make a movie. You know what I mean? But I'd be interested in watching some documentaries or kind of YouTube theses.
There's always, you can always find analysis videos.
But,
He was revealing the truth about the Illuminati, obviously.
Yeah.
but I'm not smart enough to appreciate everything in this movie, maybe, as far as people dive into it. But
Also, Tom Cruise, what a guy.
what a man.
Yeah, what a man.
But it was good. I think you'd enjoy it, Alan. It has all the kind of weirdness you'd enjoy.
Because I've seen a version.
No,
of
it has it has 90s era Tom Cruise.
You know, is it True Detective season 2 where she's pretending to be the sex worker at that like house orgy?
Yes.
It's kind of like that, but more fancy because they're all wearing like Venetian
Yes,
masks.
I've seen a version of
yeah,
it.
Oh man. Okay. When they say, "Is this episode explicit?" I'm gonna have to be like, "Do I hit yes or no?" Whoa.
Is there a maybe a little bit?
Yeah. So that's Eyes Wide Shut, and then I have a couple of classics, just while we have a bit of time. I watched National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation for the first time.
For the first time?
For the first time.
Wow.
I enjoyed it thoroughly. It's
Amazing.
basically this is another one you'd appreciate, Alan Deep. This is a film about a man trying to stay in control as his family comes over for Christmas, and his problems just escalate through the course of the night. It just gets worse and worse, and his family gets worse and worse. Just towards there's basically just right at the end, like everything falls apart.
Sounds like
Yeah.
he sounds like Mother.
It's like
It does have
in a
some
way,
elements
yeah.
of that, yeah.
like catastrophically bad, like the house burns down, or like worse.
I mean, maybe not the whole
Yeah.
house burning down, but things happen.
Yeah, something burns down.
Yeah, but
Yeah. No, I talked about...
there are abductions. There's some fires. Some road
It's just
rage.
dealing with crazy family on Christmas time, and the stress is high, and he's
Yeah,
trying
and
to make everything perfect, and the Christmas lights aren't working, and the
Yeah.
family's annoying, and then there's this, and that, and it just piles up.
Yeah, and it just gets the tension just keeps building as the movie goes on. It's really
amazing.
well.
I
put
talked
together.
about it last year because it's one of my favorite Christmas movies. It's so good.
The other one I would have talked about last year, I'm sure, but I rewatched the 4K of Scrooged,
Yeah.
and this is a yearly watch for me.
Mm.
I love it so much. Have you seen Scrooged?
No.
I'm going to give you the
Yeah,
Blu-ray
Alan
disc.
would like that.
It looks really
The
nice.
I got the 4K as well. I watched that
Yeah, it
too.
looks really nice.
Yeah.
I'll lend you the disc.
Very good.
It looks really nice. The quality's really nice on the disc. It
I
has
was-
Miles Davis in it.
I was saying to Nathan before, I love like the practical effects in it, like because it's a sort of, it came out in 1988, so it's like a modern interpretation of A Christmas Carol, like where he's a Scrooge character, except he's like a
But it's kind of meta as well.
he's like a TV network executive, and he's like just
Yeah.
cynical. He's about money. He doesn't care about people. And then the ghosts visit him, and he
Yeah.
learns, the true meaning
But like
of Christmas.
they do Scrooge in the... It's like...
Yeah, but they're also for his
Yeah.
TV network. They're
Yeah.
doing the Scrooge, like
Yeah.
the traditional Scrooge.
But there's like sexy dances.
Yeah,
and
it's
all
like they're
these
trying to
other kinds of-
modernize it
Yeah.
and spice it up. Yeah, and he's like get more viewership,
Yeah.
viewership numbers and stuff. But yeah, the ghosts and the
it's so
stuff
good.
like the practical effects are so good, and it just looks so nice. And the new 4K,
It's so good. It's so good.
So
That's the
nice.
only thing I'd mention, specifically only because I rewatched it on the new 4K
Yeah,
transfer,
yeah.
which is delightful.
looked really good. Yeah, it's such a good movie.
That's all I've got. What have you got, James?
Yeah. I had Scrooged, and then I watched Tangerine, which is a 2015 movie which I'd seen before. A really, really good movie. Its claim to fame, so to speak, is that it was shot on the iPhone 5S, which was new at the time. And so it's kind of, that's part of its charm, is like, the whole movie was shot on a phone. But it looks really cinematic. And it was shot, like the end of 2014 on the streets of West Hollywood. And it's got this really raw kind of grounded, authentic quality. Sean Baker, the writer and director, like went into that community and like made friends with everyone and cast real people. So it's about two transgender sex workers on Christmas Eve. One of them finds out her boyfriend is cheating on her, and so they basically just go around like LA Hollywood looking for this guy who's also a pimp, by the way. And it's just this crazy, like really energetic, chaotic, funny, like crazy movie where they're just like trying to find this guy, and they're like, and the cops roll up, and then there's this, and then that, and it's my kind of movie where it's just like
Kinetic. It's full of energy.
yeah, it's full of energy. It's really funny. And it's full of like non-actors and first-time actors who are like actually from that community. It's a really, really great movie. And yeah, it's technically set at Christmas. So I watched that because I hadn't seen it in a while. And I got the Second Sight, the UK company, released a really nice limited edition Blu-ray with a slipcase and a little booklet full of essays and stuff. And it had lots of special features on the disc. So I watched that, and so that was good. That's a really good movie. Then I did a double feature of Fatman and Violent Night. So Fatman came out in 2020, and this is that movie where Mel Gibson plays the sort of grizzled, tough old Santa, and this spoiled little rich kid gets coal for Christmas because he's bad, and so he puts out a hit on Santa and hires a hitman. And that's a pretty fun premise, right? You know, like an action John Wick Santa movie, whatever. So, you know, I saw the trailer to that, and I never watched it. And I was like, oh, you know, I'll watch it. I don't know what the hell it was. It wasn't a comedy. It wasn't a drama. It wasn't an action movie. It was trying to be all things at once, and it was none of them. There was a couple of cool ideas, and the premise is, you know, not bad. But it's just a mess. Just not worth watching. I don't know what the hell it was supposed to be. Yeah, I don't know. They could have just stuck with that idea of like the hitman goes after Santa. That would have been fine. There's also this interesting stuff where the hitman, he kept getting coal as a kid, and so now he's obsessed with finding Santa, and he like he collects gifts that Santa has given to other people. So he has like this museum in his house, and I'm like, that's interesting. That could have been the whole movie about a guy obsessed with finding Santa, and getting revenge for giving him coal or something. But it's just a mess of a movie, not worth watching. Then I watched Violent Night,
which I have seen. I enjoyed Violent Night when I saw it.
Which that's also like, you know, the premise of like a kind of grizzled Santa.
He's kind of over it.
Yeah, he's over it.
He's a little drunk.
Yeah, very drunk. He goes to this like mansion to deliver presents, and the rich family inside is being held hostage by a bunch of like, you know, like not bank robbers, but you know, they're holding these people hostage to get their to get in their personal vault. And so he has to. It's like Die Hard in this mansion where Santa has to sneak around and take out all these goons and save the family and save the little girl and learn to love Christmas again and all this. It's a much better movie. It's much funnier, and the action was surprisingly pretty decent.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
And there's like lots of fun little Christmas gags, like he kills a guy with a sharpened candy cane. I'm like, that's fun.
I like how he has an axe.
No, he has a hammer.
The hammer. It's the hammer.
Yeah.
And there's those kind of like flashback moments.
I did like they show his like origin story, but I'm like, I would have liked more of that. And I would have liked to have seen how he went from that to how he got to Santa.
I think it's inferred it's kind of like a curse, or it's like some sort of.
But I'm like, it's kind of a huge. You know, I would have liked.
They don't stay on it long.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have to do a whole like thing, but I was like, I would have liked to see a couple more flashbacks to see how he sort of went from the warrior to the sort of
the jolly man
who gives. You know, I would have liked to. How did he become? Was it Nickum, the Viking warrior, to Saint Nick, to Santa? Like, I thought they could have done like 2 more flashbacks. That would have been really cool. But apparently, the movie did well enough that they're trying to do a sequel.
That'd be interesting.
So yeah, I mean, I'd definitely. It wasn't great, but I'm like, I would definitely watch this movie again, and I'd watch a sequel. David Harbour is funny as Santa, and it's got some funny moments and some okay action scenes, so it's definitely worth watching. Then we talked about this last year. I watched Love Actually
Oh wow.
Yay.
because
Do you hate it?
no.
Okay, because Americans hate this film.
No, we had this discussion last year because every year, you know, everyone always says you have to watch Love Actually. My mum is obsessed with it, but it's one of those, you know, really popular movies, not just Christmas movies, it's just popular in general. Everyone's like always like, you have to watch it, you have to watch it. You guys are like, you have to watch it. Last year I tried to watch it, I didn't have time, but we ended up talking about it a bit, and I was like, okay, next year I'm going to watch it. So now it's this year, and I watched it, and it's one of those things like it's so popular, and I've seen bits of it on TV, and I know the memes. And I'm like, but until you sit down and watch it all in all at once, you don't get the full experience. And when it ended, I'm like, hey, that was pretty good. And the more I thought about it, the more I liked it.
Yeah,
So
it's really funny because Americans think it's a psychotic film of
I think
sociopaths and it's weird.
we talked
and they don't
about
think it's
talked
funny.
about last year where it's got that. It's a very British sense of humor. It's not an American.
Yeah.
It's very. It's got some cringe kind of office UK office cringe. It's got a lot of. It's very dry.
Yeah.
So I can understand. Yeah, some audience members like not jiving with that. It's also it's a mature audience movie, even though it's very kind of light, wholesome Christmas movie.
Yeah.
It's for an adult audience.
And it's a little sappy, but that's also why I like
Yeah.
it. You know, like that thing with Colin Firth, and
That was my favorite part.
He's the author, or whatever, and he'll say, "Oh, don't worry about it, it's rubbish." And then because
with
she
the
doesn't
Portuguese,
understand,
yeah,
she goes, "It better not be rubbish."
Yeah, she only speaks Portuguese. He only speaks English, and so
And yet they make it
they're
work.
misunderstanding and they make it work.
I think the thing about this movie that it appeals to so many people is that it has all those different plot lines, and they all give something different that people
Yeah.
can enjoy. So
Yeah.
there's all
Also-
different people enjoy different stories,
Yeah.
and that kind of people like the movie for different reasons, and they have their own
Yeah.
they have their own
I mean-
favorite kind of storyline.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm not really into rom-coms. There are some really good ones, some ones I like. And this one is like a rom-com on steroids because it's like 10 rom-coms
Yeah.
in one.
Yeah.
And they also have to speed run all of them
Yeah.
because there's the interwoven...
So in a way, there's not that much bloat because it's like when you got all these characters.
And it's interesting because halfway through you have all these really dramatic moments and I'm like, this is exhausting. It's like the end of
I feel
5 romantic comedies all at once. And then it keeps going and like keeps developing, and then there's the actual climax, which is, you know, the big music number and people running, and it's like this coming together, and it's like this big...
Because everyone knows each other in the film. It's like
That's
a
the thing, it's all
community.
interconnected. I
Yeah.
did like that, like you see one guy and he's talking to one guy and then it cuts and it's like he goes to see his friend and it's the other guy and then that guy, and it's all sort of...
It's a community, yeah.
It's quite well constructed.
It's a subtly very complicated film when you actually look at all the different thread lines.
It could easily have fallen apart.
Yeah, but it
and
doesn't.
It
Yeah.
doesn't. It works quite well. I would have liked maybe because I know they deleted a lot of footage. Like I would like to see a longer version just to flesh it out maybe a little bit. But then pacing that might harm it. But yeah, I actually ended up really enjoying it, and I might watch it again next year, or on another Christmas. Like I didn't think I would like it that much, and at first when it ended, I was like, that was pretty good. But afterwards, I was like, it sat with me.
I think it's one of those things, as I said, where it's like it's got all these different plot lines that you kind of appreciate something maybe different next time you watch it. Or you forget a little bit. And
there's a lot going on, and
There's also a lot of great quotes too.
And Hugh Grant.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
The dancing scene.
Yeah. And the there's obviously the classic Rowan Atkinson longest gift wrap in the world. Yeah.
There's quite a few moments that will make you chuckle even if you've seen it. It's just funny.
Yeah. Bill Nye is good.
Yeah.
Always good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
His whole thing.
Every time I hear that song at work,
It ruins the song.
Love is all around. Yeah.
Christmas is all around. Yeah.
And I like he's just brutally honest. He's like, no, it's crap. Like everything I do is for money. Shut up. Yeah.
I'm glad you enjoyed it because, like I said, Americans just hate it. So I
think it's also
it could have gone either way.
It's also, remember we talked about Sleepers in Seattle. You've Got Mail. And we're like, most rom-coms have this creepy element where in the movie you just kind of overlook it, but if you think about it, it's like, this is creepy. This movie has some of that.
But not to that extent.
Yeah. The creepiest thing is the whole like him going behind his best friend's back
with the placards.
with the placards, which is such an iconic thing. And even Andrew Lincoln, the actor, was like, yeah, that was pretty creepy. But yeah, there's nothing so egregious that you can't. Yeah.
It even has like
Also-
bro love. You know, with Bill Nye and his
Yeah.
manager, that's its own story.
Yeah.
And that's platonic, you know what I mean? Like, it's not just about the rom-com.
That's the real
Yeah.
message of Christmas. It's for the
And there's
homies.
also the bit with Alan Rickman, and it's like not everything is like super happy
Oh, yeah.
ending. It's like there's this kind of sappy traditional romance, but then there's like
That, yeah.
more,
melancholy.
yeah, bittersweet or not even,
Yeah.
But yeah, really good movie. I really enjoyed it. And then I watched in 2017 for Red Nose Day. They do those comedy sketches to raise money.
Yeah.
And they did Red Nose Day actually, where they brought a lot of the cast back and did a like Where Are They Now thing. And I think that made the original movie even better because Richard Curtis, who wrote and directed the movie, wrote and directed this little sketch for Red Nose Day. And, they bring people back and it's like, and I'm like, oh, this is nice. Like it kind of, and it makes Andrew Lincoln's character less creepy.
You redeemed.
Yeah, because he brings his wife now, and he's just like, "Hey, I'm not trying to steal you again."
Yeah.
So that was good too. It was a
Nice.
really good movie.
All right, we're nearly at the end of our time for tonight. Does anyone have anything else they'd like to talk about?
No, I think that was a good place to end. I reckon. Yeah.
Thanks for listening, everyone. This is our last show for the year.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here, Alan, on our last show of the year.
Do what I
2023.
can.
Again, I know we said it last week, but we'd like to thank everyone for supporting the show this year. It's been a big year for the show.
Mm.
I'd like to thank Alan for supporting the show in the ways that he
Behind
can.
the scenes, yeah.
It's been a big year. Hopefully next year will be bigger.
Yeah, there's always a lot going on behind the scenes, and we try our best to just keep the show going. But I think this year was a good indication that we can sort of maybe do a bit more here and there, and we've got some stuff planned and some stuff coming up. So hopefully 2024, fingers crossed, will be a big year for the show.
Yeah, we got some interviews lined up that we want to get out,
Yeah.
hopefully. But
So
Christmas
hopefully-
time is also the busiest time of year
Yeah,
for
we're
people,
also
so
this
we, you
year.
know,
But hopefully we'll
There's more coming.
go to more conventions, go to more festivals, and talk to more people, and
send more emails.
get more YouTube stuff up. So hopefully it'll be good 2024.
Please like and share the Tuesday Review at Tuesday Review AU on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Threads, Newsmast, and Blue Sky, and on YouTube.
Yeah, make sure you follow the YouTube, subscribe, ring the bell, all that good stuff. Comment, and also
we
because
do have some YouTube special
yeah,
videos.
there are some videos that are going up on YouTube that are not coming out as podcasts. So make sure you're subscribed there, and hopefully, we'll have more YouTube content coming out in the next year.
Hit us up. Let us know what you think. What should we do next year?
Yeah, let us know. Just anything, we can do. Anything you want us to focus on.
What the people are really waiting for. The Snyder Cut review.
Yeah, you guys can do that.
We'll get
You
around
guys can
to
do that
this.
without me. Thank you very much. Hey, have you seen Rebel Moon?
No, I'm waiting for the director's cut that's coming next year.
Let's not go there. Letterboxd. You can follow me, Channel Drifter, all one word.
I'm Nathan B_90.
I'm Callum Tuesday.
Yeah, so
Alan, what's your letterboxd? He
I
doesn't
don't
know.
have one.
We'll get you one.
you should make one. Just shit posts, reviews.
It's fun. People get a lot of traction for shit posts.
Actually, yeah, there are a lot of reviews that are just like.
There was one review that was trending recently. It was a review of Trainspotting. It was the boy and the heroine.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So follow us there if you want to keep up with what we've been watching, and have a happy, safe New Year, and keep an eye on our social media because we might probably take next week off, and then we'll be back the second week of January.
Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll be back. Adios, cousins.